Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets. No one interrupts, or guts will fly, they say. Randy pulled out a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his foot and twisted it, causing Randy to hit the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door, Troy grabbing him. "Need some help?" He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground, and Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts coughing up blood. "Come on, Jeff, fight me!" Picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass on top of Jeff's head. "Fight!" He throws Jeff back onto the living room floor. "Come on, Jeff, look at me." Jeff glances up at the face riddled with blood. "I was the one who got your brother sent to GDC, and now you're just going to sit there and let him rot there for a whole year? You should be ashamed of yourself." Jeff starts to get up. "Oh, finally you stand and fight." Jeff is now on his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt in a while. Finally, he's up, Randy says as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All realization thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and power drives him into the ground. He gets up on top of him and starts punching him straight in the heart. Punches cause Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gashes from Randy's body, until he takes one final breath and dies. Everyone's looking at Jeff now. His parents, the children crying, even Troy and Keith, although they easily broke from the gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the gun turned on him and runs up the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him. Each shot missed. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith following up behind as they let their final rounds of bullets. Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs a towel from the towel rack, rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He drops the knife and grabs Jeff by the neck. He pushes him into the wall, and a thing of bleach falls down on top of him from the top shelf. It burns both them, and they're both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes the best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack, swinging it against Keith's head as he lay there bleeding to death. He let out an ominous smile. "What's so funny?" asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter, switched it on. "What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol." Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter on him. As second as flames made contact with him, the flames ignite the alcohol in the vodka, while the alcohol burns him the bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out of the flame, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall, fell down the stairs, everybody staring and screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground nearly dead. Last thing Jeff saw was his mother and other parents trying to extinguish the fire. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke up, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up and realized there was some tube in his arm. Then he tried to get up. It fell out, and the nurses rushed in. "I don't think you can get out of bed just yet," she said. putting him back down on the bed, reinserting the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what the surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. "Honey, are you okay?" she asks. Jeff couldn't answer, though his face was covered and he was unable to speak. "Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou out." This made Jeff absolutely bolt up, stepping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again." Jeff's mother hugged Jeff and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. It came the day where his bandages were removed. His family were all there to see it. What would he look like? As the doctors unwrapped his bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage, hiding the cover over his face, was almost removed. "Let's hope for the best," said the doctor. He quickly pulled the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screamed. At the sight of his face, Lou and Jeff's dad stared in awe and struck at his face. What happened to my face?" Jeff said, rushing out of the bathroom and out of the bed and ran into the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It was horrible. His lips were burnt to a deeper shade of red. His face returned to pure white. His hair stringed brown to black. He slowly pulled his hands to his face. It had sort of leathery feel to it. He looked back at his family and then back to the mirror. "Jeff, it's not that bad." "Nothing's not that bad. It's perfect." His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay?" "Okay? I've never felt more happy." "Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me." He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity snapped. Now he was left with a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know. "Doctor," said Jeff's mom, "is my son okay in the head?" "Oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a physical test." "Thank you, doctor." Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. "Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go." Jeff looked away from the mirror. His face formed into a crazy smile. "Okay, Mommy." His mother took him by his shoulder and took him to get his clothes. "This is what came in," said the lady at the front desk. Jeff's mom looked down and saw the black dress pants and the white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put the clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mom woke up to the sound coming from the bedroom, the sound of someone crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. "Jeff, what are you doing?" his mother asked. Jeff looked up at his mother. "I can't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurts after a while. Now I can smile forever." Jeff's mother noticed his eyes ringed in black. "Jeff, your eyes!" His eyes seemingly never closing. "I can see my face." I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out my eyelids so I could see forever myself, my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was gone insane. "What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?" "Yes, son. Yes, you are. Let me get Daddy so he can see your face." She ran from the room, shaking Jeff's dad in a swift, "Honey, get the gun. She stopped and she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife. "Mommy, you lied." That's the last thing they heard as Jeff rushed to them, with the knife, getting both of them, gutting them both. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strange feeling someone was watching him. He looked up and Jeff's hand was covered his mouth. He realized he slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. "Shh! Just go to sleep,"